welcome to the chess class training for beginners. So this is a beginners workshop for those who really want to learn how to play chess. As much as I know about chess, I've been playing chess since primary. So chess is a game for the mind, and everyone can play chess. Chess is like a sport that you can learn, but you need someone with an eye-opening mind to know that you can learn things. And once you do chess, you never fail school, never. So let's begin. So let's start with the basics. What is chess? So chess is a strategic game board for two players. So chess is played by two players who are going to be competing against each other, and it improves thinking, focus, and problem solving. That's why the reason I was telling you that once you play chess, you never fail school, because you learn one of the most important skills, which is critical thinking and problem solving. Then it's played on a board with 64 squares. I think in front of you, we have a chessboard that has 64 squares, right? Have you managed to read this? That there are 64. You count them? Yes, there are 64 squares. So it's a game played by two people, and it has 64 squares. Then this is the chessboard. So the chessboard is 8 by 8 grid, which makes it 64 squares, right? Then it has light and dark squares alternate, right? I think you can see the chessboard that is in front of you, that this is how it is represented. Are you seeing the chessboard? Yes. Then the bottom right square must be white. So let's know that if you are in front of the chessboard, your bottom square is supposed to be white. Is this white? Yes. Alright, that's how we organize the chessboard, first and foremost. Let's move on. So we have what we call the chess pieces. This is very important. The first one is the king. The king, can someone raise up the king? Who knows the king? So we have also the queen. Then you also have the rook. Okay. Then we have the bishop. Then we have the knight. The knight, you also nickname it the horse, some other extent, but that's another outdated way of defining it. Then lastly, we have the pawn. Do you see the pawn? Okay. So one of the most important things is that each and every piece on the chess piece has its own unique movement. So the piece that I have highlighted to you should know that each and every one of them, they have their own unique way of moving around the board. Like we said, we have a board that is what? 64 squares. So on a chessboard, it has 64 squares. At the same time, we have pieces which have their own unique way of moving. Right? So let's move on to understanding the pieces only remain, each and every one of them. So the king, like we said, chess is played by two players. The other player is playing white, and the other player is playing what? Black. So we have the king here. He moves one square in any direction. Most important piece on the chessboard. If checkmated, the game is over. So one of the most important chess pieces is the king. And the value of the king is unlimited. Once your king is captured, then we call it checkmate, right? So we call it checkmate because once your king doesn't have any other moves that he can do, the game is over. So on the chessboard, the most important piece to protect is the king. The king, either you're playing black, you're playing white. You should protect the one king. And the king, as powerful as he is, he only moves one square, any direction that he wants. He only moves what? One square. Yes. Any direction that he wants, he only moves one square. Then let's move on to the other piece. We have the queen. This is the most powerful piece on the chessboard. Can you raise up the queen? Do you see it on the chessboard? Yes. If you are seeing the queen, so from definition, we are saying that the queen is the most powerful piece on the chessboard. What makes it powerful is that it moves any direction, straight or diagonal, or any other squares that it wants. The duty of the queen is to protect the king. Is that clear? Yes. the queen is the most powerful piece of the chessboard, but the responsibility of the queen is to make sure that she protects the what? The king. That's why she moves all the directions that she wants on the chessboard. Then move on to what's called the rook. The rook, it moves in a straight line. We call them the castles. That's another name we should nickname the rook. It's known as the castle. It moves in a straight line. So there is the corner piece of the chessboard. There is the corner piece of the own kingdom, right? So there every corner of the chessboard, we have the rook. They are standing idle on those corners to make sure that they protect the kingdom, the pillars of the kingdom, right? That's what we mentioned, that it's a what? It's a rook. It moves on the straight line, horizontal, or vertical movements. So when you say straight line, we are trying to say that this is the chessboard right here. I think I'm going to show each other how the direction moves. So we're trying to say it moves in a straight line like this, and also straight line like this, right? And let's move on to another piece. We have what we call the knight. It moves in the L shape. This one is the most powerful piece also. It has its own unique way of moving. We call them the knight. The king is supposed to be protected by the knight. If you have watched movies of like Game of Thrones and other movies of the epic movies, they also have what we call the knight. The job of the knight is to make sure that they protect the kingdom. The horse, we call it the horse in other manner, but it's called the knight. So it's moving in an L shape. The only way in which it moves, it formulates what you call the L shape. So you read 1, 2, 3 squares and 10. You always create an L shape, whichever direction you want. Is that clear? Whichever direction it wants, only creates the what? The L shape. 1, 2, 3, 10. 1, 2, 3, 10. Right? Can jump over other pieces. This is the only piece that can jump other pieces. So the only piece that has the power to jump other pieces is this one, the knight. That's the only piece that has the power to jump other pieces. No other piece can do that, but the knight can do that. Then it's very useful in crowded positions. So one of the most reasons why it's more powerful is because it can move on a chessboard regardless of the other opponent that you are playing with. It still has a lot of pieces on the chessboard. It can move in the direction that it wants. Then, let's go to the bishop. I think we have some of you who have played checkers before. How many are you? Who played drafts? Alright. I think some of you are familiar with the draft, right? So, just like you do with the draft, we have what we call the bishop. The bishop moves diagonally. If it is a black bishop, it moves diagonally on the black squares. And then if it is a white bishop, it moves diagonally on the what? On the white squares. So it has different functions. Moves diagonally only, stays on the same color. So if it is a white bishop, if it is black, it is white, follow the design of white, who moves in white squares. If it is a black bishop, it moves in what? Black squares. Is that clear? Yes. Strong in opening diagonally. So you are going to use the bishop to open diagonally along the chessboard. Because one of the most important things is that how are you going to attack the center? The center is where the action is. So once you have the bishops opening up, you can easily penetrate the other opponent you are playing. Right? Let's move on to the pawn, which is the last piece of the chessboard. It moves forwards only. These are the small soldiers which are in front of the chessboard. They are there to sacrifice. Also, they are also there to make sure that they can become also queens themselves. But one of the other things that they do is that they are the one who leads the battlefront. Just like what is happening in Ukraine right now, right? Other Africans are the ones being used to fight the war with Russia. Do you know that? Yes, they are the pawns who have been sacrificed. Yes. Most Africans are going to Russia looking for a job. They are the pawns that are going to be sacrificed in this war with Russia and Ukraine. So they only move forward. They are only told to move forward. So this is the pawn. It captures also diagonally. So the pawn is another unique way in which it captures other pieces of the opponent. That's how you can change direction. And also the other power of the pawn is that it can jump the first square if it is first to move on the chessboard. So one of the other things is that you should know that first moves can go 2 squares. It can only be allowed to move 2 squares when it's first moving. You can't do it twice. You can only do it once. So that's the only thing that is unique about the pawn. It can move 2 squares when it is first moving from its original position. If it's moving from its original position, it can move 2 squares. But if it is already moved from this original position, you only move what? 1 square. Let's move on to capturing pieces. So like I said, it's a battle of the mind, right? We are chasing a win between 2 people who are playing together. The other one playing white, the other one playing what? Black. So we talk about capturing pieces. We say that capture by landing on the opposite pieces. So the only thing that you can do, if you are attacking someone, the only way in which you can remove a piece from the chessboard is by make sure that your piece goes and lands on that original position that the other opponent's piece was landing. So in other words, you are trying to say that if you are going to be capturing a piece from the person you are playing with, make sure that your piece will land on that square where that piece you're capturing was. Is that clear? Yes, we are trying to say that once you move a piece, maybe you are trying to capture a pawn, you're only going to go in that square. That's where you stand, on that square. So in other words, you can see from the picture here, this I think was a bishop. It was now removing what? The knight here. So you land on that square where you are removing another piece. So when you capture pieces, you have to remove them from the chessboard. Goal is to attack the what? The king. Remember I said when I started, the most important piece on the chessboard is the what? Is the king. The goal is to capture the king. That's when you can say that you have won the what? The game. Checkmate. Check, we simply try to say that your king is under attack. So check is whereby you are told to move one piece. You are told to move your king. Your king is under attack, so we are trying to say move your king to a better square. When you say check, you are trying to say that your king is under danger. So look for another square in which you can land your king. That's when you say check. Then checkmate is whereby we say the king cannot escape. Just like in this picture that we have here, from this first diagram, we have the bishop saying check to the king. He's trying to say move. He's trying to say your king move away from that square. You see that picture here? The bishop is saying check to the king here, which means that, like we said, the bishop moves diagonal. So he's trying to say that move away from the white square because you are in my way. So which means the king is supposed to move away from the check. But when you say checkmate now, the king cannot escape, just like here on this other diagram. The king cannot escape from here. That's a checkmate. You see? Then let's look at the basic winning tips. How basically can you win a chess game? The first thing is that you should protect your what? The king. That's one of the other things that is very important. Then control the sender. Like I said, chess is a battlefield. So we are trying to play against each other. 2 players playing against what? Each other. So which means the only way in which you can win a chessboard, control the sender. So when you say the center of the chessboard, we are trying to say, when we are looking at this chessboard here, we are trying to say control the center of the chessboard here. That's where most of the action will be. Then develop your pieces earlier. So the other reasons why chess is much more of a critical game thing is because we want you to develop your pieces earlier. The more you develop your pieces, the more you can win the game. Then think before moving. This is one of the other most important skill of chess. The idea that you don't touch pieces before you think properly, right? Yes, you think before you move. You think first, then you touch the chess piece, then you move it. You don't just move the chess piece. Let's move on to this practice activity. We want to set up a chessboard. We're going to be doing it for 5 minutes. We want to then teach each other how to set up a chessboard, right? So the first thing is that you're going to help each other on that table where you are, right? Yes. So the first thing is that look for the castles or the, what did you say was the other name? Yes, can you put them on the center part, the end of the kingdom? Do it quickly. Alright. I think they move it. Show that they're doing it correct. I just said the rooks only. Then also do the same thing on the outside. Then next, let's now put the knights. They are organized in the chessboard. This is how you organize the chessboard. Let's move on to the knights. The horses. I think that's where you can understand, right? The horses. Are you done? Next, then put on the bishops. Put on the bishops. If the queen is white, put her in a white square. If she is black, put her in a black what? Square. The design of the chessboard. Then lastly, put the king. Yes. All the pawns, all the little soldiers, put them in front. Alright, so let's talk about the chess tips that are available that you need to know. They are very basic. Don't rush moves if you are going to be playing chess. Chess is the game where we said we use the mind to think. Then always plan ahead. Learn from mistakes. Chess allows you to learn from mistakes. Then you need to practice regularly. So the only way in which you can be a better chess player is through practice. Once you don't practice, you will not do better in chess. Now let's move on to what we call chess castling. It's a special move involving the king and the what? And the rook. So chess castling is done whereby you are trying to move your king out of the way or trying to protect your king. That's the reason why we do castling. Also, sometimes we do castling so that we can have a better attack on our opponent. That's another reason why we do castling. So the condition for castling is that kings and rooks have not moved. So the only way in which you can castle is when the king and the rook, they were not supposed to have any move that they have done. That's the only way you can castle. You can castle once the king has already moved. You can also castle once the castles of both ends of the chessboard have already moved. You can't do that. Then the other thing is there's supposed to be no piece between them. You see what is happening on the diagram? We have the king here and the rook and the rook. There's no other piece in between them. We only have the king and the rook. Same on the other diagram here. We only have the king and the what? And the rooks. There's no piece supposed to be between them. When the king is not in check, so the only way in which you can castle, the king is not supposed to be under attack. You can only castle when the king is not under attack. Then lastly, the king does not move through a check. So you can't castle when you are going to be moving through a check. You can only castle when there is no other opponent attacking you, no other chess pieces of your opponent which is attacking you. That's the only way in which you can move on the chessboard. Then, let's move on to what we call chess notations. This is very important. If you are going to go to tournaments of chess, you need to know your games. If you are going to be playing what we call blitz, blitz is played on 3 minutes, 5 minutes, it depends with the tournament rules. But you should know what we call chess notations. Chess notation is whereby we talk about mathematics, where you try to write your game down in your mind. For chess notation, you need to know the chess pieces very well, so that you can write your game down. So when you go to tournaments, you're going to be given what you call a notepad, in which you write down the chess moves that you have done. So you need to record your games in your mind, also at the same time on your booklet, right? So chess notations, we record moves in a chess game. For example, this is the letters that represent every chess piece that I was talking about. The king is represented by letter what? K. The queen by Q. The rook by R. The bishop, the knight. So you need to know the symbols of each and every piece. So for you to know how to do chess notation, for you to record your games. So the example that we have here is that we are saying that E4, pawn to E4. We are trying to say that the pawn has moved to E4, which means E4 is the what? Is the square which the pawn has moved to. So you record that on your what? On your notepad, where the chess piece is moved to. Then, if it is the knight, you say NF3, which means the knight has moved to what? To F3, right? So remember we said the knight is represented by N, right? So which means by notation, if you are going to be putting it on another square, we say now NF3. You write the symbol of the piece, then the square in which the piece has gone to. I think the chessboard, as you can see, it has numbers, right? You see the numbers? Yes, that's why I'm taking the number of the square. So the number of the square corresponds with the letter. That's what you call the chess notation. So that one is a much more advanced way of learning chess. You're going to be teaching each other later, not today. Then when you are going to be doing what you call chess castling, is 0 minus 0. Then if it is queen side castling, 0 minus 0 minus 0. Then if we check, it is only a positive sign of addition, right? Then checkmate is a hash, right? Then, like I said, you're going to be now organizing the chessboard according to those who know how to play chess, so that we can observe how the chess piece moves on the chessboard. That's when we are going to be ending our workshop, right? So, like I said, chess is all about improving your critical thinking skills. Like I said, chess is a game for the mind. Once you learn chess, you won't fail any examination. Even the mid-years, you won't fail at all. Everyone can learn chess, guys. Everyone can learn chess. Everyone can practice chess. At the same time, once you practice more, you become a better chess player. So for this moment in time, I want those who know how to play chess, who have been playing chess, to be on the board and the other one on the other side. Can we do that now?
Cara, we know going to 1, 2, 3 up.
That's the only piece that I'm going to jump on my pieces. Mama is it? Jump.